Today we answer the question, when is it okay for a salesperson to stop prospecting? Hi, I'm Anthony Iannarino, and you know me from thesalesblog.com. This is not the Gary Vee show. I will not spend all my time on YouTube answering questions, but I do have a dozen or more questions that have stacked up in my inbox. Now they're printed on paper, and I want to answer these questions in a place and in a format where I can point other people to these answers. And today's question is an interesting question. It's from a sales manager. He has 10 salespeople that work for him. 5 are veterans and 5 are relatively new. And the way he's described it is his mature veteran salespeople are now rocks, and he needs them to be rock stars because they have this new group coming in. So his question is this: what do I do with these veteran salespeople who have stopped prospecting? Do I wind them down? Do I start putting them into a mentor role or a coach role for the new salespeople? Or do I require them to keep their quota and still do all the prospecting work that's always been expected of them? And it's an interesting question, especially because the email contains some other information. These salespeople have tremendous business acumen. They've got great situational knowledge, which means in front of a customer, they're great value creators. And the writer of the email says they never lose accounts. They never lose them. They keep them forever. They do a great job with account management. But what we're talking about is 2 different roles and a decision to make about what he requires of his existing veteran salespeople. And account management is a role, and customer service is a role, and operations is a role, but it's not a sales role. Salespeople prospect. Salespeople create new opportunities. That's what salespeople do. So there's no time in the career of a salesperson when their role changes and they take on a role where they simply serve accounts, unless they're in an account management role. That's a different role altogether. But here's my fear for the writer of this email, and I believe when he wrote this email to me, he already knew what the right answer to this question is. If he allows his veteran salespeople to stop prospecting, if he allows them to start winding down that effort, what he's going to be doing is sending a signal. He's going to be giving his new salespeople the message that as long as you work here, if you've got accounts, you no longer have to prospect and you no longer have to create new opportunities. And that is never true for salespeople, ever. You always have to build a pipeline. You always have to prospect. You always have to pick up the phone. And as soon as you decide that you no longer want to prospect, you're no longer a salesperson. So the risk for this sales manager is if he does not require it of his veterans, he's sending a terrible example to his new young rock stars, and he knows that. So listen, if you're a salesperson, your job is to prospect, your job is to create new opportunities. There's never a time when that will change without you changing the role and going into some other job. It's what we do, it's the way that we create value for our organization, and it's the way that we find meaning in our work by going out and generating results for our customers that no one else could generate. I'm Anthony Iannarino. You can find me at thesalesblog.com. When you go there, do sign up for the newsletter. That's /newsletter. It's the best work I do every Sunday, maybe with the exception of YouTube videos. I'll see you on the next video, and I'll see you on Sunday.